Namaste. How is everybody doing? Super good, super cool, I trust. So, today I'm going to tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was in Baghdad a Sufi who was walking down the street, and as he was walking down the street, he came across a dog, and he then took his stick and he hit the dog very hard, very viciously. And the dog, after being struck like this, has scampered away. And the dog then went to the real Sufi master of that place, a man called Abu Sayyid, and he went to him and he sat in front of him and he put his injured paw like this out in front of him. And of course, the ones who are enlightened, many of them, the masters, know the language of all creatures, right? And this dog himself was not an ordinary dog. So he said to the master that I have been struck for no fault of mine and I want justice. So then the master said, okay, and he sent his people out to call this Sufi in his presence. So when the Sufi came, he was asked, because the dog was present there. So he said, did you strike this dog? This is what he was asked. And he said, no, I struck him because he came in front of me and he spoilt my coat. He spoilt my clothes. And after he said that, because the dog had already told Abu Sayyid what had happened, and he was all knowing, so he knew that this was not true, that he had just randomly taken his stick and beaten this dog for no reason, injured him. So he said to the dog, now what should we do? What do you want? Because he will get ultimate compensation for what he has done, which means that the universe is definitely going to give it back to him. But in the meantime, what is it that you would like me to do for you? How may I compensate? So the dog said that I want you to take away his coat, which is for the elect, which means they are given this particular jacket kind of thing which they wear after they reach a certain level. So he said, because I saw him wearing that, I felt fearless to pass in front of him, because I thought, wearing that coat, that jacket, that he is a man of God. And so I went fearlessly in front of him. Had it been an ordinary man, I would have thought twice, because people are afraid of dogs or pariahs, so they mistreat them. So had it been an ordinary man, I would never have gone close to him. But because I saw that he's a Sufi, I thought he's a Darwish, a man of God, I went, I crossed his path very, very freely and very fearlessly. So as far as I am concerned, you have to take his jacket back. He does not deserve this. It has been given to him, but he is not worthy of it. And so it is said that that gentleman's jacket or his rank, was brought down and it was taken away from him. And the dog, who, like I said, himself was a master, because sometimes you cannot judge. We as human beings, we think, oh, we speak, we have intellect, we are so smart, we invent things, right? So we are obviously the most evolved beings on this planet, which is not true, at all. Dogs are much, much more evolved than we are. Dolphins are much more evolved than we are. Whales are much more evolved than we are. They are true epitomes of what it is to bring in the divine. Every animal is doing its job on the planet, except for the human being. They are all perfect wherever they are, in whatever they are doing. Whether he's on the street, whether he's living in somebody's home, because even animals, dogs, they are known to take up the troubles of their masters. They are known to take on their karma. They are that powerful. So it is not right for us to think that we are the only ones who are evolved, and so you can treat everything else, all other creatures and beings anyhow you feel like. Plus, moral of the story is, don't judge a person by the way they look, right? Don't judge the clothes. See who the person is, how are they behaving, are they living up to, like this man was wearing that jacket, right? So are they living up to that? Are they living up to the title that they have given to themselves? More often than not, that's what it is. It's not like others have. Today I can get something printed about myself and announce myself as so and so, and then that's how I will be known in the future, right? So I can give myself a title. So at the end of the day, look, see, like I say always, connect here. How does this person make you feel here? Are they making you feel good? Are they making you feel light? Then they're the right person for you. As simple as that. So, and that goes not just for people in, I mean, that's not necessarily just for people who are in a place of power. It could also be people who you are meeting for work. It could be people who you are, friends. So don't judge a book by its cover, because very often we think, arey yaar, so dekho ye doesn't seem to be, they look very like somehow, and you don't know that person at all. You must give everyone a chance. Everyone a chance. Because big geniuses and big stars have come out of nowhere and nothing. But because somebody somewhere saw the spark in them, gave them that chance, they reached where they did, finally. So don't judge anybody by appearance ever again, because some of the greatest saints, the greatest Sufi masters, they don't go around proclaiming themselves to be that. They just are, and they just are quietly, because they have nothing left to prove to anybody. You see? So that was that. And another thing that I wanted to also share with you was, is that of course everybody, I'm sure, is very particular about the food that they eat, right? And at least I was, from the time I was a child, I was always instructed by my father, you have to finish everything that is in your plate, period. You cannot leave even one little grain of rice. Your plate has to be clean, like it's been washed literally. So this has always stuck with me, and it's that has always been my way. I try my level best to not, I don't like to use the word waste, because I don't believe in waste. I believe that everything is a cycle. Somebody is going to benefit, somebody is going to eat it. But what where this is coming from is that, you know, I have this tradition of feeding the crows. Okay, I'm saying tradition, it sounds so weird. It's a habit I have, let's put it that way. Okay, so I feed the crows. All the Gujaratis that watch will know they are called kagdus. So you get this special kagdu ka gathia, you know, that yellow besan ka thing. So I normally, when this was not on, it was available freely. So I used to always have stock in the house. And my first, before I even got out and came out of my room for the morning, I would give my kagdus because they would be cawing like crazy and waiting for it. So I would give them that. Then I used to also give them another second breakfast. Then they would have lunch, you know. But since this lockdown period, now then I had staff, so second breakfast and all, I always had help to kind of make it for me, give it to me, and I would give it to them. And that would consist of pav and eggs and all that. And the lunchtime may it would be roti and whatever, right? So now that I am the one in charge and I am the one who's feeding them, because I'm not able to get so much of the gathia now, so I am giving them everything. So I'm giving them rice and everything. And then I noticed, you know, that when I was putting the food out for them, so there would be rice, like, right? So it kind of separates, no, the grains. Not a single grain can be seen. If you go after a couple of hours, I have a parapet where I give it to them. Not a single grain, you know. And when I would see the pigeons and the crows coming and eating that one dana of rice, it struck me. I said, oh my God, you know, when we were kids, we had this saying na, दाने दाने पे लिखा है खाने वाले का नाम. Correct? So all these things are so true, because I will share with you a prayer that I say mentally before I eat my food, and I am asking that you do too if you feel like. So what I do is I always say thank you to the person who made this food, okay, so that it's in front of me, it's going to nourish me. And then I ask for that chain from the person who made the food, right down all the way, because I don't know what that chain is, but right down to Mother Earth. I say thank you and gratitude and blessings to you for making this food happen for me, because there's an entire process, right? It's the womb of the Mother Earth who first accepts the grains, the seeds, right? Then it's the farmer who's planted the seeds, who looks after them. It's his entire family, I think, then that gets involved in the harvesting, then how it reaches the markets, you know, and all the way to a store where I have bought it from, or online, whatever, but it's coming through and via somebody. So there's an entire chain, right, that makes it possible, that makes it happen. So you must thank everybody and you must bless everybody for being there and for making this food possible for you, so that you can eat it, you can get nourished, your family can get nourished and get strength and energy from that food. And isn't it really, really so amazing? Nothing is random. Nothing is ever random on the planet. You know, that some farmer somewhere has, say, planted rice or wheat, and only that guy's rice or wheat has come all the way to you, into your home, on your table. You know, I mean, who knew? You're sitting in your home and there somebody is planting seeds, and the divine knows exactly where each seed that is going to germinate into a rice plant, into wheat, every grain of that, where it's going to go. Isn't it amazing when you think about it? It's huge. It's huge. It's like it's such a big job, and the universe does it so beautifully well. It's a divine computer. It knows everything. It's like Google's BAP, you know, amazing, really amazing. So this is what I wanted to share with you, that I find it so precious the way the birds peck at every little grain, you know, that you throw. It is so beautiful. I mean, they have so much respect for what they are eating, you know. We don't respect our food. We must start respecting it. We must start giving it the love and the blessings that it deserves. We take it for granted, you know, because we've been blessed. So we just take it for granted कि हाँ ये तो है ना, ठीक है. Only when you know कि oh अब ये चीज़ नहीं मिल रही तो बाहर जाके भागो, मेरे घर में इतना सारा ये होना चाहिए, मेरे घर में उतना सारा वो होना चाहिए. लेकिन understand that even that you have is a blessing. The fact that you could go out and buy that much, which other people couldn't do, right? And always think, don't get, like I've been telling you all from day one, don't get caught up in panic, don't get caught up in fear, don't get caught up in क्या हो जाएगा. कुछ नहीं होगा, सब ठीक है. All is well, all will continue to be well. Yes, life is going to change dramatically, society is going to change dramatically, our values are already changing, you know, the way we look at things and life has already changed, and it is only for the better, and it's only going to be better and better and better and more amazing. So please have that faith, have that trust, have the belief that everything is only happening for your highest and best good, and that of everyone concerned, every single being. Alright? So until next time, loads of love, loads of blessings. This is Upasana Suhail Kapadia signing off. Namaste.